Alright, lesson 9, part 3. We just fit the C and the D to the 7L master pattern. It's the master pattern. Here's the 7. You got an S2L on top, and if we look at it pentatonically, 6 R 3 5. It's a long box. It's a longy, but guess what? It's not the only longy. It's the only building block longy. But you could take the top of this long guy, and when you stack the bottom of this one, if you stack this 2 3 4 on top of the 6 7 R, that becomes a longy because of the limitation of the fretboard window. The fretboard window, this isn't a heart. This is a heart, but this is a rectangle. The fretboard window is 6 strings. So you'll see these patterns going off into nowhere and coming in from nowhere because they march down, they cascade down the patterns. You know, I could show you that, but we have to focus on what we're doing here, because this pattern will repeat throughout the entire fretboard, but it'll march from the top. Let's actually look at it. If we may we? Oh, it's not stack pattern. That was the stack. This pattern actually marches from more or less the top of the thing and marches down. So if we want to find a 7L, we have to find a 2. So see where this 2 is? My recording window's off a little bit. Okay. See where this 2 is? That could be a 2. Believe me, because the pattern repeats. The pattern repeats. So where this 2 would go to 5 here, okay, that would be this part, but this is warped here. This is warped. So that's not why we're not seeing a 7L easy. But there's the 2 to the 5 there, okay, and then the top of the 7L is the 6 to the 2. So here's a 6 to 2. So this is the bottom of a 7L, and then the other one over here, this is still unwarped because it's within the first four strings. Here's this 7L's top, okay, and down to this, down to a 5 here. Let's see where that. Oh, we only have 4 strings, so it goes down to an R there. So this 2 to this R is like this 2 to this R, okay. But then you find another 6 and you start another 7L because they actually overlap a little bit. I don't have the diagram for that right now, but I can show you that. That's not what the discussion's about. But trust me, this repeats itself, but not completely linearly, okay? If you stack the 2 to the 5 on top of here, guess what? That entire pattern is going to start to jut the other way. It would go this way for the way that the chart is. It would go this way. So if I took this guy and put it on top there, it would start to go that way because you got the 7 3 6. Okay, that's how it, when it propagates, it actually has a diagonal direction. So we've got, this is our master chart here, okay, and we've got the D and the C, but there's more to it. So over here, we've got up here. Let's see if we can get some of this actual music involved here. If I can make, yeah, right there. Now we're in a good position to talk about this. This is the fretboard. It's colored, okay. If you put those little labels, believe me, I have them. I have labels that I got with this guitar. You've seen them. They're circular and they have letters on them. Well, instead of letters, I have this. Okay, and these are the note colors. Now you can't see them. I'm sure somebody wants to see all of them, but R is the root, and it's C because we're in root C guitar right here. It's way up here. Way up here. Root C guitar. So we've got root. We've got the second is light purple, which would be D. So this is C, this is D, this is E. Okay, and the only way that I can tell right now is the note colors, but the note shape, the letter shapes, the key shapes. Because remember, these are the black keys, bump bump bump, and black keys are very interesting because if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's a pentatonic scale in the key of G flat. So I've done studies on that to try and see how these black keys, this is a repeating pattern. And indeed it is. It's a repeating pattern in the key of G flat. So G flat is like over here. Yeah, so we're not going to get into that right now. I have tons of patterns, but look at this stuff. And this stacks up way high because of the warp. The highest you'll ever see this core stack, which is pretty much this pentatonic scale, is only 5. This is 6 because of the warp. The warp brought an extra, and you'll see all white frets. You know that you don't have that. You'll only have 5 in a row that are all white keys, something like that. Anyway, so we fit this. So we fit the DC to the fretboard here. We've got 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we've also got our 3, 4, 5. So it's D and C. And I notice right here, I'm not going to change this. So you can see that C1, C string 1. This double dash is string in this diagram. C string 1, C, pentatonic or diatonic. So here's string 1. The C starts on string 1, you see. I got this rendering chart here. Is this the rendering chart? It's a rendering chart. Okay, but the rendering chart's the same as the map on string 1 and string 6. So here's your C, ba 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 ba. And then you go into this, and this. Okay? The D is right there. Where do we go from here? We've only got DC. We want to cover the whole fretboard. The way we do it is we take that same pattern and we find the next 2. You see how these twos are here? They're actually a fourth apart. So if you were tuning something, you'd go like, what's this? Okay, that's a fourth apart. So it repeats there. So now we've got the same 7L pattern starting on this 2. Goes up the 2 and over to the 7. Okay, and then it warps. So the 3, 4, instead of being directly over the 7, you can warp the whole pattern. Okay, and we'll be right here, the 3 and the 4 here. Okay, so we've got this 2. So we can start us, and then there's the 3, 4, 5 for the C shape. Okay, here's C1, 3, 4, 5. We can start this 3, 4, 5 from the second string, and according to this rendering chart, if you start a C from the second string, it becomes an E. We did that in lesson 8. So it's 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6, 7 R, and then we have, let's talk pentatonic. We got a stack of 3 short, which is 2, 3, warp, 5, 6, root 2. But guess what? When you look at that shape, once you've warped that pattern, now it becomes an E. So for this region of the fretboard, and the same thing happens in this D, starting from the second string, becomes a G. Okay, so that we've expanded it now to here. That's where you've created a D, or you can start it created a G and an E, or you can start the D and the C from the second string.